Today's a really exciting show because I have with me Dylan Dix, who performs under the guise of SameStory, and he's performing under this guise since 2015. Say hey, Dylan.
Hey, it's great to be here.
Thank you so much for being here. So we will be having our interview tonight at 11:30.
Hey, sorry, I'm not here right now. Just leave a message and I'll get right back to you.
You're listening to WMLU 91.3 FM, the music of Longwood University in Farmville, Virginia. Well, thank you for being here. It's great to have you. So let's just jump right into the interview.
All right.
So where are you from?
I'm mostly from Richmond, Virginia. It's like where I say I'm from. I'm also from, just rural Virginia as well. But if anything, the band itself is from Richmond.
Richmond is a great city, and it certainly sounds, with this industrial sound you're making, that Richmond is sort of making efforts to go in that stride. Personally, when did you discover your love for music as an individual?
I think I've always had a love for music since I was very young. But as well as that, I think that when I was starting high school, I began to love music more and more. And I guess, my true passion to make music came around the middle of my high school career, so.
That's a perfect transition, because that actually is my next question. So what made you start making music, or really realize that you wanted to put your voice out there? A lot of artists, people who draw, or people who paint, or people who write, sort of just find that through experimenting, but I think making music is a little bit different. How did you, and what did make you want to start this process?
So, I always thought maybe I could try being a musician because it just seemed so appealing. All my friends started wanting to be in bands and whatnot, and but at the same time I also liked electronic a lot. And so I tried to take those influences and mash them together, and initial efforts didn't work so well, but gradually as I matured more and listened and discovered more genres and different ways to make music, this sort of became a thing in my head, and it began to form early 2015. And so around that point, I guess I just decided that I was going to give it a shot at electronic rock and whatnot.
Sure, that's great. I love that. So hopefully we can come back to that. But the next question is, who are your musical heroes and your influences on your music?
So I think I sort of try to wear my influences on my sleeve, but not too very visible. My favorite band of all time is 9 Inch Nails, I would say. Very big influence on me in the way turning just one person to make an entire band's worth of music. Other influence, I would say, early Swans, Nirvana's very frenetic live shows, and just, the way punk music was made back in the 80s and 90s was very influenced by the way that their shows went on.
Sure, punk wasn't really accepted a lot at first, and I'm glad to go back to the third question, where you said that the sort of a trial and error process. So it's cool to see that even the people who have influenced your music sort of have maybe in a way influenced your passion to not give up when you fall down, or be pushed down and be resilient and just bounce right up. So that's really neat.
I just think it's another reason to write a song.
Exactly. So, a lot of great music, especially off your last EP. My favorite is I Can't Believe This Is Happening to Me, and so I think that really shows, whatever the circumstance is, we just are sort of in shock about it, but that doesn't really determine our fate, that we can be resilient.
Mm-hmm.
I have definitely heard positive things about the EP, the previous EP, that has been prior release to this, and it's really neat that you have sources with the band Space Mirror, and
mm-hmm.
hopefully they'll get in here and do an interview. So, what prompted this album's creation, this new EP that's scheduled to drop?
So Never Ends, the name of the album, was sort of just an effort to take a lot of frustration I'd had in just transitioning from high school to adult life, and I really wanted to be able to make a full-length release that I could be proud of and not just something I was trying to give to other people to listen to. So when I started recording it, I never really intended it to be just something solely for other people to listen to. I intended it for something to be what my vision of a good LP would sound like, I guess.
Sure, more audio way. And I think what's really neat is you as an artist don't really have that much. Sure, you fit in mostly industrial, but I see a lot of rock and a lot of different elements. Like in this last set we just played, there was some rap and hip hop, and then there was some noise and industrial, and then sort of alternative and indie sounding. So it's great to see the wide variety. Like you said, you wear your influences on your sleeve, but they're not to be the only colors of your sleeve. So it was great to see that, and then I can definitely see that in the last album. So viewers, if you haven't listened to the last EP, definitely go check that out before this new one drops. So my last question for you is a threefold question. What lies ahead for you musically?
So I think SameStory is going to continue evolving in a very, very diverse way. I think I've still got a lot to learn when it comes to making music, but I've also got a lot that I'm proud of and want to keep working on. This album, I'm hoping, I can generate a live act out of this soon, and maybe get to bring it to the masses to see what it looks like in real life. I don't know what that will look like, but I really hope it's going to be something I can be proud of just as much as the album. As well as recording something new in the future. I don't know when it will be, but I know that there's going to be more from SameStory in the future.
So are you going to focus mostly on promoting this new album coming out, or trying to get sales off the last EP?
So I think that it's a good thing to, if you're not signed or anything, just to release your music for free, because I'm a firm believer in that you don't get noticed unless people notice you by the things you do. And so when artists sell their albums straight off the bat and just starting out, I think it's just better to give stuff for free, because that draws more attention, more people are likely to download it, and it's easier to distribute that, maybe even try to send it to labels to get attention out of that way. So I'm not really focusing on promotion in that aspect. I'm more focusing on getting noticed for what I'm doing, not just what I'm selling.
So it sounds like you wouldn't mind getting promotion for this last album you promoted, or this new one is sort of just a culmination of both of those as well?
Yeah, I could definitely say that.
Are you planning on doing any concerts? Are you planning on getting any more radio interviews? What's the...
I definitely want to try to do more radio stuff. I'm hoping some more stations I've talked to will consider it, as well as, just putting my stuff from my new album in rotation in places as well. That would be most helpful. As for concerts, though, I don't know what's going to happen in the near future. I'm trying to put together a live act soon. It just depends, when I release this album, I'm hoping to get people to help me out and see what a SameStory live band would look like.
Yeah, and I think that's great. So that concludes our interview, so thank you so much for being on the show.
It's my pleasure. I'm really happy to have done this.
Well, that's just terrific, and I beg to differ. It was my pleasure to have SameStory on Pocket Candy with Austin, absolutely terrific artist, absolutely terrific friend. So go check out the EP that's on SoundCloud, and then go check out the new single, which is also on SoundCloud. He also has a Bandcamp page, Name Your Price, really terrific. I dig it. I'll be playing his songs in rotation. So that was our interview. Really terrific.